All right, looks like we're live. Hey, my name is Mike Healy. I want to thank everybody for taking time out of the schedule to be on our Facebook Live. You're going to get this. We're going to get this recorded. We're going to make sure we have it on our our Bidpoint YouTube channel. We're going to have it probably on our blog. We're going to have it in the back office for the training because you're going to really get a lot out today. I am so excited today. We are going to talk about probably one of our best offerings. I mean, we have great offerings with everything we're offering with the waste services, with the new credit card processing, but energy has been a staple of something that we've offered for quite a while now. And we're so excited because I'm excited to have Joe Mitica on here, one of the co-founders of Avion Energy. And we're going to talk to you today about how, the potential for you to earn a nice, big, fat residual income in the energy space. But before I jump in, I got some people saying hi right now. I'm going to say, let's get there. Let's see who we got on here. James, hey man, what's up, buddy? James out there in Los Angeles, I know that. In fact, if you're coming on and you'd like to say hello, maybe I can pop this up for you. Put in your city and state because it's kind of cool to see where people are coming from. And I'll drop our faces off of here. And let me see, we got, I know Leon, you're here in Columbus. Bob's here, Bob's saying hi. But if you want to, we can go ahead and put some stuff on here. I know I got some more people jumping on board. But let me see here. I'm going to just jump off there. But anyhow, what we plan on doing today is we're going to go through this fairly quick. If you want to stick around and ask some questions, we're going to probably have a handful of people that are going to stick through the end here. And, one of the best things I've seen is when Joe takes on the questions from the field. He answers the big things and what's going on out there. There they are. Now we got people coming in. We got people in from Texas. We got people in from Atlanta. We got Pittsburgh, Kentucky. Awesome. I really appreciate you guys being on here. I'm watching the numbers rack up as we speak. So, you know what, Joe? I know you've got, you're a busy man. I'm a busy man. We got a lot of people that are going to be watching this video, both live and obviously as it's recorded, get it out there. But I want to jump right in and I want to talk to, have you share. Let's start with this. Why don't you take just a few minutes and share your story about how you kind of got in the energy space. And, you've told it before. And if you just want to roll, go with it. I might interrupt you every once in a while, but maybe not. But tell us how you got started in the energy space. Because real quick, before I do that, just so everybody knows that, we have this strategic partnership. And what's nice is we've all known each other for quite a few years. We had connections, that we met each other with Joe and Jim and Rick Moore and myself, probably close to 10 years ago. And it's really exciting to see how this has all come together in the last couple of years, last year or so, really, to bring this relationship back together. And we're excited about really having this offering because I was personally in the energy space. I've been in it. I've done it successfully. I've generated, thousands of customers before. But when you guys showed us what you had with Avion, the amount of suppliers, the credibility, the influence, the size of deals that you guys are able to close for people, everything from the little mom and pop to these massive companies, really makes the playing field equal for about anybody where they happen to be. And we're excited to have you on here. So, Joe, I'm going to shut my pie hole because I can keep on rambling. But why don't you, say hi to everybody and then tell us the story. Tell us kind of how you got started. And then the spiel. This is for people. People that are watching this want to know, is there money potential here? Is there something that people can do to make a residual income, in the energy space? So everybody, give a big round of applause for Joe Mitica. There's a lot of people clapping. You just couldn't hear them right now.
Sure. Mike, thank you. Thanks for having me on the call. It's an exciting time, I have to say. Technology allows us to do things today that's really quite amazing. Being on this broadcast right here and having people join in with us across the country, that's extremely exciting. I can tell you, really, Avion was started really out of a passion and a dream that I had that started 25 years ago. Like you said, our histories are very thick together over the years. Rick Moore and I have literally gone back 25 years. He was the one that introduced me to the idea of leveraging time and effort, through the team building aspects of moving products and services. And, I got into the energy space really kind of by necessity, but really a kind of accident too. Had built some pretty large global teams in the nutritional world. That world was kind of slowing down, moved really in the energy space probably about 10 years ago now, simply because I learned that energy was a mandatory service. And if we could make some money on it, it just made sense doing that versus a nutritional. And long story short, things continued to develop. I was with the company, and the difficulty of an owner not really having the desire to help the field. He wasn't somebody that put the field first. So about almost 8 years ago now, he came on one of my national calls, something similar to this. They didn't have this back then, and he just blew up the phone line. Everybody was quitting, and really their feelings were hurt. And honestly, what happened for me was my credibility and the sacred relationship I had with people, it was bruised big time. So, I lost trust in that deal, and I was traveling, and a guy that I dealt with every day said, "Joe, you have to start your own." And really, that's where it was born. July the 2nd, I had that conversation. July the 4th of 2010, I resigned from that other company. July the 7th, 2010, Avion was started. Our first day was July the 10th, 2010. So we are coming up on our 8th year. And really, we started off right from the beginning, Mike. We didn't really have an initial goal of being the biggest or the best or the fastest growing or any of that. What we really wanted to do right from the beginning was to create an environment where when we spoke to people, we could honestly tell individuals in the field that they could literally build a long-term residual income. And the reason this call needed to be here tonight at 9 o'clock versus 7 is I'm in my mid-50s. I have two small boys. I've got a 10-year-old and a 5-year-old. And when Avion was first started, my oldest was about 3 years old at the time. And I deeply feared the day 20 years later if my son was going to college. And my passion was to create an environment where he could go wherever he wanted to based on his desires and education, not based on my bank account. And that was really a passion for me. So when we started, right from the beginning, we created an environment. We wanted to create an environment where we could level the playing field, create win-win-wins for everybody, for the field, for the client, for the suppliers, and for Avion. And it took us a long time to do it. We've always built everything.
Joe, I want to make sure we have we stay a little interactive here at the same time, because I know you can roll this story. Because a lot of people that are taking a look at this or are already involved are in the same situation. They're looking to just maybe generate a few extra dollars a month for their family's sake or create that residual income. Were you scared at all when you got started? Like, were you ever, you know what I mean? Like, how when you start something new, you kind of get panicky a little bit. Like, am I doing the right thing? Is this the right market to be in? Where were you at with that? Sorry, I jumped out of the screen. Did you hear me?
I have to say, I was more fearful of not doing. Yeah, I can hear you. I was more fearful of not doing it than doing it, quite honestly. On in the beginning days, Jim Sharon and I partnered up to build this. And I knew what we were doing was we were going to create something that long term we knew that people in the field could trust. And I can tell you that from 25 years in the relationship building world, you call it whatever you want. Years ago, it was straight MLM. It's continued to transform into a very different thing today. But the bottom line, it's still the majority of what we do is based on people in the field, like you just mentioned, 10 different states, and them going out, representing a company and taking what they believe in to their sphere of influence. And that was my biggest fear, Mike, I can tell you. I had two fears. In the very beginning, my largest fear, the thing that kept me up at night, was the concern that somebody would join Avion, and because of something we did, they would be embarrassed, or they would be fearful to go to church, or that Thanksgiving dinner where the brother-in-law. So we made sure that every action step we did was really constructed in such a way to where people could be proud to be involved. We never overpromised. We always knew where we were headed. And in the very beginning days, because our supplier base, it took us a while. I was the one making those phone calls. And in the very beginning, that was a $100 million, billion-dollar energy suppliers to listen to us. But over time, we got all of them. And in the beginning days, we talked about competitive pricing. After about 2.5 years, we moved into the world of being the best price. Today at 70 some odd suppliers, we are 99.9% of the time, we are convinced that because we have all the large suppliers around the country, when somebody brings their sphere of influence, when they bring us a client, we have tremendous confidence that that client's going to be served and served very well.
Those are great points, and I want to ask you something. You know what? I don't want to join Bidpoint. I think I can do this better on my own. I don't want to join Avion. How easy is it for me to go out and just connect with all these suppliers and start writing deals? Trick question.
Yeah. It's impossible, actually. And I can tell you, and this is the honest God's truth, large numbers of suppliers, when we started and actually created the channel partner relationships with them, this is going back 6-7 years, that was those big suppliers, that was a style in which they were using, a method, a mechanism they were using to build their books of business. Several of the largest ones today don't even take on new channel partners. It's not a focus. They don't get rid of the ones they had, but they are not taking on new channel partners. So there's large numbers of them, probably in the range of 20 to 25%. Even if you called them, they just don't take on channel partners. And quite honestly, Mike, the channel partner relationship, that's once you do it, it's fine. The licensing it takes to be in this world, deregulation is only based on price. It is, and it's only in certain areas. The truth of the matter is it's an extremely regulated world. The regulations we have to follow. We literally have a full-time staffer because the renewal, it all has to be renewed on a monthly basis, or on an annual basis. There's a tremendous amount that goes on behind the scenes. And, to organize it all is the most difficult. It's easy to say, and of course I'm the one in the front of the room saying, oh, it's so easy, it's this, that, and the other thing. We get 15 suppliers to bid on it. But literally to have the technology needed to be able to do that live and do it, in time was quite a feat. It took us 3.5 years just to build the technology to do what we can do now.
Okay, so that's a great point, and that leads me into this. Okay, so if you're watching, obviously there's a lot of people watching this, but if you're watching this and you're wondering maybe if you're new or you're with us, the process of how we gather customers is fairly simple. That's what makes this so powerful and so easy for somebody to build a nice book of business and generate some residual income. Really what I've taught people over the last few years to do to get the customers that we've generated was to basically ask an 8-second question. I made it up and it's worked tremendously. An 8-second question goes, so you're walking and you're doing a little business, say, hey, I don't know if I can help you or not, but if you give me a copy of last month's utility bills, I can have them analyzed for free to see if you're being overcharged. So it's a simple question that I've asked to get the information. Now, the cool part is and this goes right to I'm throwing you another softball pitch, Joe, is the technology you guys have put together and what is about to be released to us, because we're everything's working. I mean, we're signing customers and people are generating customers and so on. With this new technology, will basically separate us from everybody else out there because of what you've put together with this new portal, correct? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
I can tell you, Mike, it took us 4 hours to process a client that maybe there was 7 or 8 suppliers bidding on it. Today, because of the technology, we can have 15 suppliers bid on it, and the technology that we built from scratch, which actually we have a patent pending on it, that's how unique it is. The technology today does that exact same thing in 5 minutes. I can tell you, Mike, as a business owner, in this space, my second fear in the beginning was growing too fast. I knew you only have one opportunity to create emotional momentum. And I knew that our opportunity was so powerful that if we built it too quickly in the beginning, and we couldn't keep up with it because we couldn't keep up on the backside, then we would really be, shooting ourselves in the foot. So, people have asked me the question, if Avion was so good 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 5 years ago, why the strategic relationship that we created with Bidpoint was just August 11th of 2016. And the answer is because I know your skill sets. I know Rick Moore's skill sets. I'm learning Monty's. I know what you guys had the ability to do, and I wasn't going to take that on and the ability to build teams in such a way if we couldn't handle the backside of it. People have asked, can you make money in energy? And I'm here to tell you that personally, I guess technically I was the first agent. I was the first guy out there.
Right.
So as I went out back then, and started building a team and started gathering clients, I did that on a daily basis while I built the business, while I built the supplier list. And, as Rick and I were talking one day, and really, quite honestly, I did that both activities. I was building a team, building a book, and building Avion all at the same time. And quite honestly, after about a year and a half of that, because in the beginning, we didn't start with big investment dollars and millions of dollars, none of that. We basically paid ourselves what we earned from the same types of commissions. And, it's been a long time now, I can tell you, that my own personal income based on my book of business, not on any salary, but on a book of business, not only from myself, but as the team that I was able to grow, income's been pretty nice these days. So, can people build and make money here? The answer is just absolutely yes. And I can tell you where we are today with Bidpoint, and the other services you offer, in addition to Avion, it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen, I have to tell you. So it's really, really exciting. One of the challenges of energy is that it's deregulated in certain markets. A lot of them, but not most of them. Truly, the future of energy deregulation is very, very bright as the rest of the country deregulates. Saw a question go across, is Avion in Texas? Absolutely. Part of them that aren't even deregulated yet. So how many opportunities can you talk about where it's fantastic today, but for a fact, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, as the rest of the country deregulates, it'll even be greater. Now, with the addition of waste, with the addition of credit card processing, it just opens the entire country up to an opportunity. And every client, in my opinion, over time, will be using all three services. What we didn't have 7 years ago, and we were able to build, very strong residual income based on just energy that you guys have today. I mean, the opportunity is tenfold. And we've had tremendous success, along the way. So it's
awesome.
very.
Let me throw this out real quick. If anybody has questions, fire them away. We'll stay on here a few minutes. I told Joe we'd go probably around 30 minutes, which I try to keep the show down to about 30. But if you got a question or a comment, feel free to drop it in the comments below, and then I'll post them up here, and you can kind of see them right here at the bottom of the screen. So that's why, like we said, is there's somebody did that in Texas. Okay, here's a question that just came in from Bob Esters. How do you approach a company that is regulated in electricity but not in gas? Great question. You want to take that?
It's the same. And it's the same question. You just focus the question on gas. At least 40% of our business across the country is natural gas. We created the same relationships with natural gas suppliers that we did electricity. In fact, recently we signed our single largest deal ever, which was a natural gas deal. It literally, I don't even know what the numbers are, but it's a massive, massive amount of natural gas. So the business in natural gas is just as strong, quite honestly, in electricity. I'll give you a couple of really highlights of why our opportunity is so unique. Our opportunity is completely unattached to the economy. If the stock market's going great, we've got a good business op. If the stock market's not going great, we have a good business opportunity. Bottom line, in the long business, because we're not seasonal. In the summer, we use more electricity, we make plenty of money. In the winter, we use more natural gas, we make plenty of money. Now, again, you add the other services that we have, it's incredibly unique. The other thing that
Another question.
Sure.
Go ahead and finish, and then I'll let you.
I can tell you too, the other thing that I personally really love about this opportunity is that there are people that can see themselves representing an energy company or a credit card processing company or the trash and recycle. They can see themselves doing that. Or for 15 years when we were out there representing Fantastic Nutritionals, there was a whole sphere of people that no matter how great the product was, they couldn't see themselves doing it. Well, today, I don't care what color your collar is, white collar, blue collar. I don't care if you make $250,000 a year or $25,000 a year. We have people that literally have made, $3 million a year, and they see this opportunity, and they jump in. So it opens up to everybody. And, that to me is exciting. It's just it's really great for that type of person. Perfect.
Mike South just asked, how long until Missouri's deregulated?
Question, how long till Missouri?
Yeah.
Yeah. Call your local representative. Missouri needs to be deregulated. And this is how I've always looked at the regulated states. Take Missouri for an example. Illinois, fully deregulated. Ohio, fully deregulated. Indiana, natural gas. Michigan, natural gas. Michigan is one of the closer electricity states. It's closer. It's not there yet. Sooner or later, it's going to happen. So, in my opinion, how can the state of Missouri, how long can the utilities in the state of Missouri hold off competition from coming into that state? I don't know, but sooner or later. And, my view on it, Mike, is the people that really see this as a long-term opportunity, that's what I always thought, is I said, if I go build myself a team of 5,000 people and build myself a large book of business and teach people how to do it, we at Avion, we're connected in the organizations. We will know the second a new state deregulates and the date it deregulates. Think about if you're on this call, right, or you're on this program right here today. You started today, and 24 months from today, you've got 3,000 people on your team, and we find out that Missouri's deregulating 6 months later. Think about where your potential income can be when you've got 3,000 people all looking at the state of Missouri, going after the low-hanging fruit. We experienced that. We were 5 months. We were 5 months old when PICA, the Philadelphia utility company, deregulated. And I mean, there was so much business. We were so brand new. We saw it happen right in front of our face. The next time we'll be much more readily prepared. So
Awesome.
it's a huge future in this business, I can tell you. It's very
Got
exciting.
another question for you from Tom Lewis. When will the energy portal be up and available for us to use in the field?
You know, Tom, if it was up to me, it would have been up yesterday. I'm the guy that makes all the promises, and then I get to my office the next morning and I get hammered. You know, we try not to overpromise. I can tell you it keeps all of us awake at night that it's not up yet. We've got a full-time effort in making sure that we're putting it together and we're putting it together correctly. So I don't have a date, but I can tell you it is extremely important for all of us to get that up and get it working. And you will see when it is up, it's something you're going to love, and it's something that'll be very effective. When's the date?
Let me touch on that, because you guys are already using the portal. When I submit paperwork for a customer, the portal already exists, and you guys do all of the bidding. It's done. So
Yes.
it's not that the portal doesn't exist. The portal's done and working, but it's just
Yes.
just a matter of, are you guys going to almost simplify it to the point that somebody with very little experience in this space can come in and use it themselves, and that's what you guys are working on, correct?
Yes. We've got the technology. Quite honestly, the portal itself for the brand new person is available. We're not launching it because the trainings for each one of the steps is not available. Remember, we're in an emotional business here. I don't care what you call it. It's an emotional business. You get in something and you're excited. We at Avion want to make sure that anything we do is boosting your excitement, not diminishing your excitement. Well, you get into a brand new portal, you don't know how to work it. You get stuck somewhere. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. The only thing you're going to be is frustrated with us. So, everything we do creates the support, if you will, to just keep your emotions moving, because it is an emotional business, and, with the utmost of quality. So that's where we're at with it. Soon.
Perfect. Okay. I got a question from Preston Eisnagel. Pete, what's up, buddy? I know it's Icon Pete. What would be the minimum monthly spend for it to be worthwhile for both a consumer and a rep?
Pete, I can tell you that the conversation is exactly the same. We handle everybody. Now, if time is limited, I would go for a larger business. I would go for the car dealership and above business. Does that mean that the mom and pop, the small restaurant, whatever, we can't and won't? No, of course we can and we will. We've got numerous clients like that. I mean, hundreds of them that pay us. And though, understand that we get paid a commission based on quantity spent, quantity of energy used. That's why, quite honestly, we focused in the commercial world where a lot of companies focused in the residential. The bottom line, if a house uses 1,000 kilowatts a month and a restaurant uses 100,000 and manufacturing uses 1 million, you're going to have the exact same conversations. The larger the usage, the more money is made. Other ones, yes. Will you make less money? Yes, you will. Do we say don't do them? No. But this is business, and if you have a certain amount of time, and you're cold call the dealership down the street versus the small dress shop. That's Can we do them both? Yes, but bigger is better.
Perfect. All right, this one's just a quick one. You don't have to answer it if you don't want to. When will residential be available in Michigan? We're working on it. How's that? Is that a good answer?
Michigan. Yeah, we're working on it. We're definitely working on this focus. And there's an arrogance to a lot of entrepreneurs that say, well, if I'm good at one thing, I can be good at everything. And those are the people that typically fail. So Avion from the beginning came in with a focus, and our focus was commercial. And, we will, when the time is right, be able to help the residential world. We've got a technology that's, in the pipeline, if you will. But honestly, even if we could, our focus will always be commercial, more from a sense of branding, from expertise, from sticking with what we do well. And that's why, quite honestly, we've never expanded. And Avion Energy Inc. hasn't expanded into other products, if you will. Now we're partnering with other companies. And if you know the owners of these other companies, the NTC guys and the Wavit guys, again, they're focused. We're representing, but you just, when you sit across from the owner of NTC, super focused, knows exactly what he's doing, and
right.
That's why we do what we do.
And I'm going to jump in on that, answering that question too about the residential. Is understand too. I mean, there's nothing wrong with residential, but you have the ability to chase dimes or chase dollars. There's a lot of opportunities in the MLM space where it's primarily residential. That's the pitch. Most of them aren't making any residual money or any income, and I'm going to be bold in saying that, from the actual, usage of the residential, because you literally have to have thousands, in a lot of cases, of residential customers to be the equivalent of what we've seen, single accounts, single customers, not organizations with customers, single customers. I've seen that would be the equivalent of having a few hundred with a few thousand customers in just the residential space. That's why it's such a big bang for our buck. Okay. So anyhow, let me jump into another question.
Mike, I'll add to that too. Remembering that our motivation is to create win-win-win. And even though we understand that the residential world is a marketplace, from the field agent's perspective, same conversation, but the win from a business side, from a commission side, it's just really not. So
yeah, Jody asked this question, and I saw him post another one. So, are there any minimums on kilowatt usage? But I'm going to show this one because this actually came up from somebody else before, and I want you to answer this one. Can residential be mixed with commercial? For instance, a college that is a rental houses for the students. So, can we get all of their bills and combine them?
Yes, we have several. We have several that we do that with. I know there's a little bit different tactics that they use, but yes, we have several different organizations. I know of one off the top of my head that's in Philadelphia. It's like an assisted living home. It's 192 individual residential meters that one organization pays. So the organization pays, and then the 92 people pay the organization. We've handled that particular account for multiple years. So the answer would be yes to that. I don't know the details of how that works, but I can tell you, yes, we do that. Okay,
cool. And here's one more question. Are most companies tied into contracts of any type, like 2-year, 3-year, et cetera?
Yes,
they are.
And no. And all of ours are that we have. And what will happen is, over time, you're going to come across 30% of clients that don't even know that deregulation exists. We get that all the time. You're going to come across 30% of clients that are ready to move forward right now, today, need you now. And then you're going to have 30 or 40% that are in a contract. The great news about the people that are already in a contract, remembering we're a long-term business op. If somebody needs to pay their mortgage, go get a part-time job and build this, because if you still need to pay your mortgage, you need a long-term business op, just what we have here. So somebody who comes across somebody that's in a 2-year contract, the great news is that company already mixed in from the day it started. Typically, most companies aren't in that long a contract, because most companies that are under contract have been sold by a local supplier, a Constellation, a Hudson, the large billion-dollar companies. And those companies don't want people in long contracts. they want them in annual contracts. So if you would put up there 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, you're going to find a lot in 1 year contracts. And, I don't care, a 1 year contract, we started the day we get it, we can start working on it, even if it's 11 months out.
Awesome. Well, Joe, thank you very much. I know we're actually a little over half an hour. I do try to keep these about 30 minutes. I've got a couple things I'm going to share with some people here. I just want to say thank you so much for being on here. Do you have any closing words or anything? Some comments that, like kind of a call to action for people as to what maybe they do out there.
I do. Mike, I, for years, sat exactly where everybody on this call is. For years, I sat there. I sat in the audience listening to people say, go build a business, go build an income, go buy an island. And, when I would get in those other opportunities and start peeling back the curtains, the most exciting day I had was the first day. And then it kind of got less exciting from there. I can tell you, I was the first one here, which means I've been around the longest, and I know all the details of what's going on. And I'm more excited today than ever. And I can guarantee you, anybody's on this call today, if you're still on the call a year from today, or 2 years, or 3 years, and you're taking action on a daily basis, it's a 100% absolute that your financial world will be different. And understand that 95% of the effort that Avion does on a daily basis, the effort in the development and the support, is about creating our residual income platform. So you bring us a client, we'll help you get it, and then we help you keep it. Improve. So it's an exciting time, let alone adding everything else. I mean, I could talk about that for another hour. So it's never been a better time to be involved right now today. So thanks for having me on, Mike. And
Joe, thank you very much. I appreciate it. You can jump off. I got a few more things I'll cover with everybody here. But thanks again, everybody. Give Joe a big round of applause. I'm sure you could hear that. That was a big round of applause. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. You can jump off, buddy.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, guys, I want to show you a couple more quick things. If you're not familiar with who we are, you can always go to bidpoint.co, which is our blog page, and check out the information. You may also want to go to bidpoint.co in the training tab at the top. If you go there, you'll see a training video from me. You can get on our email list, but below that, you're going to see a map of the deregulated states when it just comes to the energy side. You can check that out. If you want to know how our opportunity works, feel free to go over to promoterswanted.com, promoterswanted.com. I also will probably put some of these links in the space above in the information area. And this is kind of cool, and a lot of you have never seen this, is energybestpricing.com. If you want to know how the actual energy process works, kind of what it looks like for a customer, or if you took it to a customer and you were new and couldn't explain what the process is for us to bid those clients out to the multiple suppliers, energybestpricing.com is the perfect website to show your potential customer, potential client on the energy side to see what they've got. So, hey, I really want to, I'm going to answer a couple more. I'm going to answer this question. Thomas, since you just posted it, is 3 bill copies necessary for all accounts? It's not a necessity. It's not like it wouldn't happen, but we prefer to have a minimum of 3 because it allows us to get a better backdate tracking of their usage in these different time frames. Okay, so just so you know that. But anyhow, again, thank you very much for being on here. My name is Mike Healy. I'm one of the co-founders of Bidpoint. Appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to be on here. We're going to do plenty of these because they're really, really great. And I hope you get a lot of information out of it. So thanks again for joining us. We look forward to working with you, and we will see you at the top. Thanks.